All right, joining me now with reaction, Congressman Jim Jordan, ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, let's start on the border issue. Then we're going to get back to what else is cooking. But, I mean, we're going to talk about this later. But this is a national travesty. And the Democrats will say, oh, it's not bad at all on the border. Interceptions of people are down. There are fewer people crossing. What's the real truth?
You just heard from the agents on the border talking about how bad it is. Even the New York Times talk about the 70-some thousand just this month alone crossing the border. So I always say, if what are we on, the 5th caravan? What do we need, a 6th caravan, 7th caravan, an endless caravan before we say it's an emergency? The president is right. And some of the Republicans who are opposing the president, as you said in your opening, in your Ingram angle, some of those are the same ones who last year during the Congress didn't want to get it done when we had the majority in both the House and the Senate. So this is something that's going to, looks like the Senate's going to vote to overrule the president's order. But when the president vetoes it and it comes back for a veto, we'll be able to sustain his veto.
Mitch McConnell could have pushed this.
Yeah,
he could have demanded his members.
We should have done it last Congress.
But they promised the president you're going to get your wall funding. Just get us through this period. Isn't that always a little carrot you dangle in front of someone?
Right. We'll get it later. There's always a million reasons why you shouldn't do what you said you would do. Most importantly, what the voters elected you to do. But this president is keeping his word and doing what he said, and that's why the American people like him. And that's why this town doesn't like him.
Your advice to him in this moment, we're going to get into the impeachment squad. People think, oh, we got him. The walls are closing around him. We got these subpoenas issued. Ivanka, Jared, from weird Russians I've never heard of. Like all these, they're all named, and the 81 people. What should the president do as this is swirling around? Just
keep doing his job. I was back home Friday night. We had a Lincoln Day dinner I spoke at, and the crowd was huge, and they were so enthusiastic for the president fighting for what he told the American people to do. You know what's interesting, too, about these 81 letters that Mr. Nadler sent? What's interesting is who he didn't send them to. He didn't send all these people, 81 different entities, over 60 different people, but he didn't send it to the two most important, Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele. Glenn Simpson, who was paid by the Clintons to put the dossier together, and who did he do? He hired Christopher Steele, a foreigner, to write the dossier that was the basis of all.
That's the list of all the people, by the way.
All those people, but not the two that count the most. And so, look, they started their impeachment effort last Wednesday. They started their impeachment last Wednesday with Michael Cohen. And Michael Cohen, their first announced witness of the 116th Congress, a guy who's going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress, came in last Wednesday and did what?
That's their ace in the hole.
Came in last Wednesday and did what? Lied 6 times under oath. And that's why we sent a criminal referral letter to the Attorney General.
Well, I mean, Bill Barr has got to act on this. I'm sorry, Bill Barr could act on this. Could Bill Barr reopen the investigation into Mrs. Clinton?
He could.
Should he?
What he should do is tell us what John Huber's doing, what Michael Horowitz is doing, what the FISA abuse that they're supposed to be looking into, and this whole idea that you had the top people at the FBI, Comey, McCabe, Baker, Strzok, Page, all these people who launched and ran the Clinton investigation and then launched and ran the Trump-Russia investigations, they've all been fired or left the FBI. 2 are under investigation. That's where we need to look.
But there's plenty of collusion here.
Yeah,
but right, but what about Tony Podesta? Why does he seem to be able to get away with so much activity with Russia?
Crazy. We've talked about this before, and you've been great on this double standard. One set of rules for us regular folk, a different set of...
But now we have a new Attorney General in place who could take a sober, dispassionate look. No one's looking to put scalps on the wall. But if this is what we're going to be dealing with, like on the other side, at least people should have a clear sense of what happened before this, correct?
Right. Go back and look at this fundamental fact. The Clinton campaign paid the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Glenn Simpson, who then went and hired a foreigner, Christopher Steele, who talked to a couple Russians, never went to Russia, put together this fake document called the dossier that the FBI used. Comey, McCabe, and all these people used, Strzok and Page used, to go to a secret court to get a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. And that's what launched it all. And now we got 81 letters going to people, but none of them are going to the guys that count the most, Christopher Steele and Glenn Simpson.
I think everyone who signed those FISA warrants, those applications to the court, not revealing that it was Hillary Clinton who paid for them. That still sticks in my craw.
Here's the other thing we have. We got competing testimony. We got McCabe saying one thing, Comey saying something else, Strzok saying one thing. This is why we need to look at this issue. And
nobody pays, though. This is what drives people crazy.
It does.
We have a new Attorney General who is a consummate professional.
We're going to talk to him about these things.
And you are in the process of talking to them about all of this?
We are.
And I know they'll say, oh, that's looking backward. We want to look forward. No, this is the rule of law.
It's about the rule of law. Equal treatment under the law, most importantly.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.